Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all the lovely readers out there from whichever part of the world you are in. Namaste. And I'm really excited about today's show. I will be interviewing two wonderful authors and editors for this particular series. And what makes me so happy about this series is the fact that I also have helped in the publication of these series and have contributed a chapter into this particular book. So not only I am associated with the book, but also I am really, working with some of my favorite people in this book. So before I begin, hi Heidi, are you guys able to hear me well? Because I'm using this earphones and I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear me well. So if you are here, and Antra, if you are here, then please let me know if everything is fine, if you can hear me. So again, to begin with, my name is Parul Agarwal, and this is my Secret Bookshelf's Instagram page. So do not worry, I have not hacked it. They have allowed me to do these interview series for authors from their Instagram page. So thank you so much, Andra. So as you know, my Secret Bookshelf helps with book promotions and book marketing. And my name is Parul Agarwal. I help authors publish and talk about their books, write, publish, and market their books. I am based in the United States, but I have authors from practically all parts of the earth. And I'm so excited today because the people I will be interviewing today are authors that I have helped publish myself, Heidi De Love and Meerav Tarka. Before we begin, a big hello and a warm welcome to everybody. And let's see. So what I'll do, Heidi, for some reason, I'm not able to invite you. Let's see what it says here. Perfect. So Heidi, I will go live with you first. And Heidi is the person who brings this work together. And then as we begin, then we'll talk more about the book, and I'll also talk more about the person who was the brainchild behind the book. Okay, so Heidi, I will be inviting you. So invitation. So I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. It's Sunday morning here in Phoenix, Arizona. And Heidi, hi, how are you?
Hi, Parul. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And for our listeners here, Heidi just had her birthday. So happy birthday, Heidi. I hope you
Thank you
had
so
a
much.
beautiful day.
I
And
had a wonderful day. Thank you.
oh, that's amazing. So hi, Madeline. I interviewed Madeline last time, and the interview was very well accepted. People are really getting excited about listening to authors and editors and what we do. Hi, Antra. So Heidi, you are the person who brought this book together when in terms of editing all the chapters, and this book is called One:
Mm-hmm.
Your
That's
Wellness
right.
Guide to Body, Mind, and Soul. And
Mm-hmm.
what you see here is obviously very cosmic, but it's also the pictures of all the authors here. And as you can see, it's such a beautifully designed cover, and it gives space to all the authors out there. So could you tell me more about your experience, editing so many different chapters, because each chapter has a different voice, each person thinks differently.
Absolutely. I think that the interesting thing about this particular book is that each chapter is so different. It touches on a different aspect of wellness. I found it extremely fascinating. Many of the authors are from different parts of the world. So, as you say, they have a
Exactly.
different style of writing. But when each chapter is kind of standalone, it makes it easier to keep the author's own voice because each chapter has its own beginning and its own ending. So, which is perfect. And it's a great book. It's a great introduction to wellness. It covers many different wellness therapies and many different points of view, which makes it the perfect go-to book for somebody who's just looking to learn more about different wellness therapies. And it was wonderful to work with all the authors. They were all such nice people.
I'm sure.
And yeah, it was a really very nice experience. And obviously working with Mirav, who you will be talking to after me, she is a delight to work with, as are you, obviously.
Thank
we,
you.
we
Oh,
made a good
Mirav is
team
such
for that
a
book.
go-getter. I sometimes have difficulty
Yes,
keeping with her energy.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, tell me, I know you have edited a wide variety of books, and this
Hmm.
book was
Hmm.
definitely different. So, what difference is there in editing a book written by, just say, one author and written by multiple? And is your approach different while editing it?
I think that obviously the difficulty with multiple authors is the style of writing,
Okay,
which for this particular book was less challenging than another project I'm working on with Mirav, which is a fictional story, which means that it's a collaboration book, but every author writes two chapters, and that's more difficult because it really has to flow and it has to tie in together. So that's more challenging. I have edited other wellness guides by one coach,
okay,
which means that the process is quite similar. I try to make sure that I understand exactly what it is they want to
okay.
achieve with the book, who's their target public, where are they going to publish it, and what are they trying to convey
That's
in
important.
with
Yeah.
the book. It's very important. I do try to keep their own voice. So my work is more, punctuation, grammar, etc. But also because I do work a lot with non-native speakers, so I
Correct.
do I do have to rewrite often. I do understand what they're trying to say, but it doesn't always come out properly. So I do sometimes have to rewrite or tweak it a little bit. But ultimately, it's their decision. It's ultimately it's their book. So they have to be happy with the end result. They have to be happy that it still sounds like them.
Exactly.
If I want to author a book, I will write my own book entirely. But my job, the way I see it, is to guide them to an end product that they're excited about and that reads fluently. And yeah, that's the aim of the game, as we say.
So I think that's so important that you brought such a important point out there that your job is to make sure that the author at the end of the day is happy with whatever you're
Hmm.
producing there. And
Hmm.
sometimes, even for our readers, uh, especially if you're working with a publisher and then they have their own editor, by the time the author receives the final edited manuscript or
Hmm. Hmm.
whatsoever, they realize that their voice is completely lost in all the edits, between all the edits of the book, right? So,
Hmm.
in fact, I have one author who actually contacted me from United Kingdom, and she was in talks with three big publishers, if I'm not
Hmm.
wrong, three or four, because she is a very well-known coach in United Kingdom, so
Hmm. Hmm.
extremely popular. So she had three or four big publishers, and eventually she decided to self-publish the book because the things that she wanted to say, the publishers or the editors that the publishers had sent them were or they wanted her to change, were the things that she really wanted to say.
So, yeah, I think self-publishing obviously gives you a lot more freedom to bring what you want to say.
True.
And, when I edit, I do cut, but I just like cut and say, okay, that's it. It has to go. I will talk to the author and say, I think, this might be a little bit repetitive, or maybe we can write it differently, but still say the same thing in the end. But I would never just say, well, no, you can't put that there. If this is what they want to say, we should find a way to be able to say
True.
exactly that. So
And
self-publishing, I think it's a great way to have the freedom. And if you have a good team behind you, you will still produce a very good book.
so, from editor point of view, what is one advice that you could give to writers to make an editor's life easier?
Okay, so definitely make sure you stick to the same timeline. Timeline is very important. A lot of writers, they forget about the timeline. So they might get lost and get excited about what they're writing. And then they can jump from summer to winter, and it doesn't make sense anymore. Something got lost. So the timeline, the tense, whether you write in the present or first person or third person, you have to be consistent. These are small details, so that you have to be consistent. I always also say to just write and then let it rest a little bit and then go back to it. Because once you have some time to mull things over, many writers, they themselves kind of then answer some of the editing, that okay, that doesn't actually sound that good, or maybe that's too much information. Or so definitely when I get chapters, I read them and I don't do anything. I just let it sit for a bit. I just think about it for a bit, and then I go back to it. And then at first I will do grammar, punctuation, the obvious things. Then I let it sit a little bit longer, and then I go back to the plot, to the actual content, and see, okay, I always look at it like, what would the reader think when they read it? You're a writer, so that when you start writing, you get, you can get going, and you can get a little bit lost in what you're writing because you want to say so many things,
Exactly.
and you want to try and squeeze it all in. But there's no need to squeeze in as much information as possible. I think it's description is important, narrative is important, all these things.
Right.
So, but again, there's a big difference between books like One or fictional stories or articles. They're all very different. Every project is individual. There is no like set formula, and
Correct.
every author is different. So
Correct.
I think it's really important to listen to the author, and make sure that they are heard and that they get their message across. Yeah.
So, do you recommend, as a parting question, do you recommend when a writer sits down to write the book, should they finish writing, or should they go back and read what they have written and then move forward to the second chapter?
What I do is, because I'm actually at the moment writing a book, my own book, and I have a small test panel of readers, actually 3 people that I've handpicked, who know the story quite well because it's a book about adoption, and it's semi-fictional, but also semi-autobiography. And their feedback is really very interesting and definitely forces me often to go back. Sometimes they write back and they say, I really got into the scene, and then you went somewhere different. So they want more detail. They want more, they want to paint the picture. They want to have the picture painted in more detail. So I would say write, leave it for a bit, go back to it, but definitely ask somebody to read it. Somebody you trust,
Okay.
somebody
Okay.
whose opinion you value. It's super important. I think it because that ultimately is your public.
Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful suggestion. Thank you so much, Heidi.
My
And
pleasure, Parul.
it was
Thank you.
wonderful speaking with you and
Thank you.
wonderful, meeting you, because I get so busy with all these other things that I hardly get time to talk to people.
I
So
know.
It was great speaking with you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having me, Parul.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And I'll invite Pepper now. Thank you.
So, shall I just, are
Yeah,
you
I will
closing
cancel
it
it.
or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
So that was Heidi. And I think the key takeaways from her conversation were keep the tone of the book consistent and work on your book, sit on it, and then go back and review it, because otherwise we tend to become our worst critics and we do not move forward with anything. So now let me invite Mirav, who is the person behind this book, who brought all the people together, and let's ask her about what motivated her to, publish this book. So Mirav, if I can find you somewhere here. For some reason, I'm not able to find you, Mirab. Do you mind rejoining the conversation here? I think we lost her. She was here a while back. Let's see, go live with, let's see what's going on here. Heidi, if you're still there, do you mind messaging Miraf quickly and asking her if she's there? Meanwhile, so I'll just talk to you guys and regarding this book, because I know a little bit about this book, one, I have been a part of this book, so this book is a collaborative book. What we did for this book was we actually contacted some of the best healers from the community, and yeah, she's on Pepper Coaching, but I'm not able to find her. Looks like, oh, I cannot find you. So I don't know this. Yeah, I can see you commenting, Mirav, but I cannot. When I try to invite you as Pepper Coaching, I'm not able to see you here. So it says only go live with these viewers. So how do I go live? If somebody could comment on the comment chat box, Antra, if you are there, because for some reason I'm not able to invite Pepper, or sorry, I mean Mirav here.